Alright, we're at day 2. Technically I missed a day, but yesterday's upload. Yesterday I recorded, and then, 2 days ago I recorded, and then yesterday I uploaded. So we're kind of trying to keep record in the evening, and we'll try to upload in the morning. It always feels like I don't have enough time, but I know I really do have enough time. It's just a matter of prioritization. That really is a struggle sometimes. It's just trying to do the things you're supposed to do and not do the things that you're not supposed to do. But it's very difficult when you want to do the things that you're not supposed to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and start. It's a little heavy for the beginning of the video. I purchased a microphone to use for today's recording. It did not go well. I purchased just a little lapel mic that I thought I could at least split the audio that I record for myself and the video that I record on my phone there. I figured that would make it a little easier, take that out a lot of the background noise. I'm looking at you, fucking fountain. I didn't really know what I was looking for, so I just purchased the cheapest one available. And as I was purchasing it, it comes with a 3.5mm jack, which is the audio jack. I'm sure most of you have seen at some point in your life. Well, it turns out that there are 2 different types of audio jacks. There is TRS and there is TRRS. They sound very fancy, but the only difference is one means tip ring stem, the other one means tip ring stem. Top quality name. Anyways, the one for the microphone is tip ring stem. That's connectors, I suppose. And not every audio jack uses the tip ring stem connector. So the guy sold me a microphone jack and a USB-C connector, but I don't believe that the USB-C connector and the audio jack talk to each other, because my laptop and my phone both wouldn't recognize the connector. So, here's what it is. We're stuck with the headphones and the loud fountain for today. It's so easy to be like, oh, I couldn't find the thing that I wanted. I guess I'll just not record today. But I'm trying to stop that. Like I said, it's like my nature or whatever. It's very easy for me to be like, well, I have this great excuse, so I won't do this thing, and I'll do it when it's better. But then tomorrow comes and something else gets in the way. And the day after that comes and something else gets in the way. And then, 2 weeks have passed and I haven't done the thing that I was supposed to just do. So I'm trying to curb that habit, just trying to do the thing that I'm supposed to do and not come up with excuses. So here we are, day 2.5. The thing that I mostly wanted to rant about today, I guess, talk about, is going back to the business stuff that I've been doing, focused on. I am primarily, because I work a job that is 9 to 5, 8 to 5, so 9 hours outside of the house plus travel time. It's very difficult for me to do any sort of in-person marketing, or not marketing, but like in-person outreach. So I thought that I would start with cold outreach to begin with, and the cold outreach that I chose for my most recent business proposition was cold emails. it seems easy enough, and it seems cozy. You can do it from your house, which is nice. You can do it from the comfort of your inbox and your nice warm equipped chair, your lit computer desk wrapped in a blanket. It's lovely. Anyways, that's what I decided to start with, and I tried doing it. And as soon as you start doing anything, you realize that there are specifics to that thing that suck. The idea is always intriguing, and some of the specifics are cool, and a lot of the specifics suck and are difficult. So for cold emailing, what I learned is that there's a lot of things. There's, I guess, two main things that come to mind that are major hiccups when doing cold emails, and that is, one, people don't want to read your thing because they have so many other things to read in their email, and two, emails actually have limitations on the number of things that they can send per day. That's tied to another idea, which is avoiding the spam folder. That's kind of the two main things, actually. Is you want people to read your thing, but before they can even read the thing, you have to land in the not spam folder, the main inbox. And Google does an incredible job of just blocking spam emails. So that was part of the learning process for doing cold emailing. And yeah, I've done a few different ones now, and I've learned a little bit. One of the very, very tricky things about cold email that I found too was that you don't get much feedback. In fact, you get almost zero feedback. You don't even sometimes know if your email landed in the inbox. There are some programs that you could use. I was using one for a little bit that did tell me it, but it was very expensive and I got no results, so I figured I would just use the free version until I got any sort of response, which has been zero so far. But then, one step at a time. So, yeah, the trick is trying to find an interesting headline, an interesting subject, and an interesting body for your email that doesn't land you in the spam folder. And it's very difficult because anytime you look up any sort of cold email copy, you look up any sort of cold email strategies, they'll give you templates. They call it copy, I believe. It's like the term they use to refer to what you put in an advertisement, the copy. Presumably because most people just copy and paste it. But the moment you copy and paste any of these buzzwords, or a collection of these buzzwords, Google has filters in place to block emails that contain too many of them. So what I was doing for a bit was I found a program that would break your email. You would write it in an email, send it to an inbox. The inbox would then give you feedback on that email. And it would be like, here's your score. You have to stay above this score to stay out of the spam folder. So that was neat. Most of those are paid services. You can only use them a limited number of times for free. There are ways around that, of course. That was what I primarily found. Oh, I have... Got it. Last what I was going to say. Okay. So yeah, I was toying around with cold emails. I have gotten a few responses, and I've gotten 0 positive responses. I got one person who was interested in one of the very first 3 emails I sent. I got one person who was interested, and they were like, "Wow, yeah, I already have something similar, but I'm kind of interested to see what else is out there. And then I freaked out because it was like my third cold email, and I was like, what the heck, why am I getting a response? I expected no response for the next fucking 110 emails. And so I didn't know what to send him for the follow-up. I sent him something in the next couple of days, and then he never responded to me again, which is fair enough. It's very embarrassing. Yeah, and then I started sending a bunch of emails. I was aiming for 50 a week, which feels obviously is quite low for the cold email strategy, but it's a little bit difficult, like I said, because another thing that you have to watch out for, one of the primary ways to stay outside of the spam folder is to make sure that your email domain itself, the actual email address from which you send things, is a good domain. And by good, I mean healthy. Google, or I say Google because I'm going to change it over to Chrome. It's the same as far as I would imagine. I can't imagine two different. Google. That's very frustrating. Oh, sorry, I was talking about healthy domains. There we go. So one of the primary ways to stay out of the spam folder is to make sure that your domain stays healthy. And in order to make sure your domain stays healthy, your email provider will watch the number of emails that you give and receive in a certain day. And they will average that and say this person usually sends about that much. And if you want to increase that, you can, but you can't increase it explosively or else you will get flagged as someone sending out spam. Right? So if you, for example, normally send, let's say, 10 to 50 emails a day, because you're a very small business and you're just answering suppliers and customers, then that's fine. You can continue to send 10 to 50 emails a day, and your domain provider will be like, yeah, that's normal. If you the next day decide I'm going to do a marketing campaign and I'm going to send out 1,000 emails per day to all of my local like my neighborhood in an event in an effort to raise more sales or whatever you're doing a cold email campaign, your domain will be like, this is strange. Something bad has probably happened to this domain, so let's throttle it. By fulfilled, they don't actually stop the emails that you send, but they flag them and they send them to the spam folder. If it ends up that with flagging, you end up in a score with too low that falls under the filter. I'm not 100% on how the filters actually work. Perhaps I should look a little bit more into that so that I can know exactly what number I'm shooting for. That would be something to consider. Sure. So that was fascinating. That was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where I said the abstracts are kind of interesting, the specifics kind of suck, because the specifics are the things that are difficult to overcome. So I haven't yet learned how to really successfully run a cold email campaign. I will probably continue or get back to it. I've paused it for now. I was trying a couple new things, which, for better or for worse, neither of them worked yet, so, we'll see. But perhaps I'll get back into it. There are two other types of cold outreach. To diverge a bit from the email topic, there is cold calling, which is calling people on the phone that you don't know. You just say, hey, hi, my name is Mark, I want to tell you something. They usually hang up on you, from what I hear. I haven't tried cold calling yet. Like I said, I work a job with the hours of 9 to 5, and primarily I'm trying to sell things to business owners, and so business owners are obviously working 9 to 5. So I haven't done a whole lot of cold calls. Now, The third form of cold outreach is door knocking. Should be called like cold knocking, realistically. Just to fit with the theme, you know? Cold calling, cold emailing, cold knocking. Sounds cooler. So that's where you just go door to door, knock on someone's door, you say, "Hi, I'm Mark. I want to sell you this thing. Do you want to buy it?" You slap the door in your face, move on to the next door. Call it a day when you've done 100 of this. So, yeah, I haven't tried those ones yet. I'm going the direction that I would like to move next. Cold emailing was really difficult with the zero feedback that I was getting. So I think I will try door knocking next. Take some days off to just go around to local businesses to see if they want to buy what I'm selling, or if I can help them with any problems. And then at least that way I'm getting some kind of feedback. If what I'm selling is even something that people want, I'm getting feedback that says, "Oh, my sales process is failing at this point." Because right now, my sales process just fails. I'm not able to get any sort of insight on the selling process or the pipeline past that, because that's my entire bottleneck, is having zero customers. Yeah. So that'll be the goal. That'll be the next project for, I don't know, some period of time. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with right now. Cold outreach is, in my mind, quite difficult. I find it quite challenging to work with very little feedback, and I also find it very challenging. I find the idea of rejection very challenging. The idea that you will knock on a door and someone will slam it in your face, and you'll knock on the next door and someone will say, "No, I really don't want what you're selling." And then you'll knock on the next door and you'll say, "Nope, I already have something similar." And that repeated process of maybe like getting a 10% or less sale, a 10% or less conversion rate, asking someone for something and getting nothing. It's kind of daunting. It's kind of hard to think about it, and for me to get excited about it. Feel like good. Now that might change were I to get some sort of positive feedback, but not there yet. I will. Not there yet simply means that I will eventually get. As long as I have to. Because giving up is the only real failure. I listened to myself back and from the previous video, and I was thinking about some of the things I could change. What I noticed, you'll notice I'm filming landscape now, some portrait, and it fits the YouTube format a lot better. Portrait feels a bit unprofessional, which maybe is kind of what I'm going for very raw and unedited, but it just doesn't look good on the screen, and it kind of bugs me. I need to have things neat and tidy. So we'll try landscape. I like it. What else? I had 2 points about my voice that I noticed, where one, I paused, just like I did right there. I paused in the middle of a sentence, and I think it's very jarring. But it's like what my brain needs to think, or I guess that's how my brain works in the background. But I'll pause in the middle of a sentence. I feel like the pause should be at a more impactful point in the sentence. I linked the guy that I was talking about before, and I forgot his name again. Finn something or other. But yeah, he talks a lot about how pauses provide a lot of emphasis for your words. It gives you a lot more power. And I noticed that by default, especially working in a customer service point, I say a lot to fill the dead space, because I don't want people to walk away or lose interest. Like, I want them to know that I have something to say still. And I feel like that kind of keeps it tied. And I notice that a lot of other people do it as well. So it's not like it's just a new thing. It's a very prominent thing that humans do a lot. But it's something that I would like, I just did it right now. Something that I would like to move away from. So the goal now will be to move from the uhs and ums to pausing, but pausing in the proper spot. So maybe taking a little bit longer to think about the entire thought so that I can pause in appropriate spots. And the other point was that I just need to talk louder. My voice was very hard to pick up in the last video. I'm sorry for that. I used a cool method. I had to Google around, but I found a pretty effective method to get rid of the background noise because it was a lot worse than what you guys heard. It was really bad. But I just need to try and talk loud and finish the thought rather than losing train of the thought and going up, and my voice starts to lose power as it goes up instead of staying at a consistent decibel range. So yeah, that's what I'm working on today. That's what I'm working on yesterday. Tomorrow, I'll be working on something else because I'm always trying to improve. I'm always trying to get better. That's the whole point of this channel, is for me to try something new and to have some accountability, documentation of the process along the way. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It's Mark. Have a great night.